Right. Tanya ni dulu lah. Which organization defines the web standard? A, B, C or D?
C.
Mana?
C.
C is the correct answer. Betul ya? Web pages use communication protocol. Which one?
D.
Mana?
D.
D, URL. Yeah? It's incorrect.
A.
A. Bila dah D incorrect, baru dekat A. Sebab protokol protokol dia kena kat belakang dia huruf P lah. Untuk protokol. Selalunya lah. Which of the following identifies the specific web page and its computer on the web? Website, website address, URL, domain name. Mana?
B.
Jawapan dia URL. Tapi yang ni soalan macam ni tak akan keluar lah. Confirm lah. Protocol is a client server program used to retrieve the document. URL senang sangat ni. Tak best. Tengok ni yang ni. The statement A, B, C or D creates a link to a file named intro.html located in the domain www.disk.com.my. Link to a file named intro.html. Yang mana satu?
B.
B.
B B is the correct answer. The correct HTML tag to left align the content. Ni kita nak align to the left. Inside a table cell is
C.
C.
reti dah tu. TD align sama dengan left. What is the correct HTML for adding a background color?
D.
D
Yes. C.
C. C is the correct answer. Which attribute need of course this is to add the color to the background. So the answer is C. BG color untuk background color. Which attribute is used with TD tag to merge two cells horizontally? Horizontal. Horizontal.
C.
C called span. When you want to mix or to merge two cells or three cells, meaning to say you add the column. So that's why it's called column span. You span the column. Which tag creates a checkbox for a form in HTML? A checkbox for a form.
B.
A, B, C or D?
B.
B is the correct answer. Yang lain ni ada ke tak? Raziman seorang jawab ni. Yang ni, this question have been asked yesterday. Alah. Ini senang. Tak best. We are going to look for another set of questions. How about if we try to make this or to answer this question? The financial department of company Braveheart Solution wishes to develop online overtime claim for their staff. As a new programmer, you are assigned to assist them creating web application. We are not going to create the web application just yet. The particulars of the online system are as follows. So suppose that this is a file name, otclaimform.html, and this screen will accept end user data entered by users. Data must be entered by the users are staff number, name, overtime hours, position values are managers. Yeah, position here, we have manager, executive, and non-executive. Group, which the values are A, B, and C. A, B, and C. So we are going to create only this file. Okay, this form. And we spend 10 minutes on this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Enter your information below. Staff number, input type, staff number. What happened when you run this? I'm curious. Right. Now, look closely. Look closely. Yours is okay, but not quite there just yet. Yeah. If you look for group, if you look at the question for group, it's not a checkbox. It's a radio button. Of course, I need, yes, it's a radio button. It's not a checkbox. And in your case, let's have a look at your code again, please. All right. So if you look here, it's in the table. It's fine. It's good. Right. You see, when you type input type equals staff number, input type equal name. So when we studied it the last time, there is no such thing as staff number type or name type. Type can either be text, number, date, not the staff number. You confuse yourself with name equals staff number, name equal name. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Thank you. Can we request Aina to show her work, please?
I'm not done yet.
It's okay. You can still show. Label border equal 1. TRPH. Alright. Column span. Oh. You are complicated. Call span equal 3. Staff number. What happened when you run this? I'm curious.
This.
Oh, okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But yours are very complicated. Okay. You should learn to simplify things. Can we ask Raziman to show his work, please?
Ya, punya tak idea tu.
Let everyone decide whether jadi or tak jadi. Okay. Listening. If you look closely, line number 8 and subsequent lines, label is spelled correctly in the beginning, but label is spelled incorrectly in the end. That's one thing. Make up your mind which one you want to use, okay? Next is all right. All right. You try to mix things up as well. This is what I gather. Let's have a look at my code. Let's see. Because I don't think this will nicely display on your screen. So this is what I've come up with. Okay, this is what I've come up with. Let's see the code from here. Shut a bit. Okay. We have form. First, I open HTML, then I close the HTML. That's what I did first, because I know for any opening tag, there will be a closing tag. And then I mentioned about the form. I open the form and I close the form. Next.
Sir.
Yeah. Oh, I did not show.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for reminding. Right. Here's what it looks like. So if you look at the question, and if you notice, that is encapsulated within these lines. That's why I come up with everything is encapsulated within the line as well, isn't it? And if you notice, the submit is somewhat to the left than the box itself. Submit is somewhat to the left than the box itself. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes? So, first, I created HTML, then I close the HTML. Next, I add in form. Yeah, I open form, I close the form. Next, I know that this is encapsulated within that. Everything on the table here is encapsulated within this. So I open a field set. This is called a field set. Yeah, the box here is called the field set. And the right up here is called the legend. Legend, enter your information in the form below. Field set and legend. Open the field set, close the field set. Open the legend and close the legend. Inside the field set, only I open the table. And if you look at the question, the table has no border. So by default, border is 0. So in this case, I simply put table. Inside the table, I start to formulate my TR and TD. So, staff number is the name, type is text. I put here required. Why required? Because make sure all the elements are not empty. So the moment we put required, we cannot send unless we fill in something into the input text. Okay? So this is just a matter of creating a table. TR, TD, TD. Yeah. First row, first column, second column. Close the row. Next row. First column, second column. Close the row. Similarly, these are all the same. Except for here, if you notice, the question states, there you go, display an alert message if the overtime hours is not in numeric value. So to ensure that it is in numeric value, I stated that the type is number. So when people try to put in character, any character, it won't display. Yeah, when we specify it is going to be a number, you only can put any number, but not on any character. What's next? Then I close the row. Moving on to the next row. First column, second column, position. So I put in the name as position, and option I put value, so that when we send later, the value can be extracted. Yeah, for the position, depending on the selected value, it will be reflected in the name variable. All the way through, close the row, open another row, group. This is a type radio. Yeah, this is type radio. The name must be the same. And I put checked here. When you put check, it will be selected automatically. But you cannot choose two. You can only choose one. In order to make that, to allow only one selection, you have to use the same name. All right? And finally, looking at the question, the box here, the field set, closes before the submit and clear form. That's what I did. Close the field set, then only I put in the buttons. Now, as far as the button is concerned, notice that submit is with lowercase s, but the clear form with uppercase C and F. So I try to emulate exactly as what it is. Input type equals submit, value equals submit. The value here is referring to what is written on the button. Yeah, the value here referring to what is written on the button. And similarly, clear form, the type is reset. Clear form with capital C and capital F. Hence, I get that. Any question? So, this is how you have to work on it. You have to understand how it is arranged, then you try to fit in everything nicely. All right, by the way, here, if you notice, I use style equal with 50%. That basically wraps the fill set to 50% of the screen. Just about it. Any question?
Sir,
Yeah.
can you explain again regarding the legend?
Well, the more important thing is the fill set because legend cannot work on its own, I suppose. Yeah. The more important thing is the fill set. The fill set here refers to this box. The legend is here. Whatever is written up here. So, when you declare your fill set, you can put legend inside the fill set. The legend, basically just write this, right? Basically only write the text. But more important thing is to include the fill set.
Okay.
Anything else?
Sir, for the input type submit and reset value, why need to put it after the field set?
Okay. Look at the question. Notice the fill set here closes before the submit button. Correct?
Yes.
That's why we emulate that. We try to answer the question, isn't it? Yeah? We try
Yeah.
to answer the question. That's why we try to emulate so that it looks almost the same as the question. So looking at that, is it nearly the same? Yeah? Nearly the same, isn't it?
Yes.
This is why. If suppose that the submit and clear form is within the field set, then of course we put inside the field set. But the question states it's outside the field set. So we take it outside. Anything else? Does my code look messy? Or in order?
In order, sir.
It's easy to understand, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So, no question. Notice here, I put style equal with 50%. What is this? When you put style, it means that you are using CSS. What is CSS? Cascading style sheet. Okay. CSS. This is called the responsive web design. CSS stands for cascading style sheet. We'll not cover everything about CSS because otherwise we'll have to spend the whole semester studying on the CSS alone. So basically what this does is to introduce you the basic concept of CSS in HTML coding. Yeah, automatic views on device. So CSS allows for automatic views on device, whether this is designed for desktop or phone. Yeah, this is a good thing about CSS. You can specify for that. Now, what is a responsive web design? It makes your web page looks good on all devices. Responsive web design uses only HTML and CSS. Also, responsive web design is not a program or a JavaScript. So sometimes you may have to integrate JavaScript, but generally it can work solely on HTML and CSS. It is called responsive web design when you use CSS and HTML to resize, hide, shrink, enlarge, or move the content to make it look good on any screen. Nowadays, you have to understand that people would access your web page not entirely merely using computer screen. Yeah, you will try to access that using many different devices. First, of course, the computer screen. If you have a tablet, you may access your website using your tablet, or even your phone can also accommodate for that. Now, throughout the slides, if the CSS property is preceded with a period, it denotes that the property is a class. Yeah. So later on, when you see there's a period, it means that refers to a class. We'll get into this because the concept of having a class, having a property ID, they have similar notation that you can use throughout, be it in CSS, JavaScript, or what's the other one? jQuery. Yeah, they're all using the same notation. Now, the viewport. The viewport is the user's visible area of a web page. The viewport varies with the device and will be smaller on a mobile phone than a computer screen. Before tablet and mobile phones, web pages were designed only for computer screens, and it was common for web pages to have a static design and a fixed size. Then when we started surfing the internet using tablets and mobile phones, fixed size web pages were too large to fit the viewport. To fix these, browsers on those devices scale down the entire web page to fit the screen. Is it not true nowadays? Yeah. If you use your phone, sometimes the view will be different from when you access using your computer, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. This is what we call the viewport. It changes your view according to the device that you are using. Of course, in order to do that, you must integrate your web page with CSS. Setting the viewport, HTML5 introduced a method to let web designers take control over the viewport through the meta tag. Meta name equal viewport, content width equal device width, initial scale equal 1.0. A meta viewport element gives the browser instructions on how to control the page's dimensions and scaling. The width device width part sets the width of the page to follow the screen width of the device, which will vary depending on the device. Now notice here, as much as it sounds a bit complicated, yeah, this is basically to introduce you with the concept of viewport. Generally nowadays, if you were to design a web page, you would use most of the time you would use something else. You would use tools, other tools, and this has been set up by the device in which you can merely choose. But we'll have a look at the contents of this first so that you can understand what the terminologies mean. Effects of viewport. Without the viewport meta tag, you get that. So you get a picture, you get a text like that. But with the viewport meta tag, you can notice that the image is slightly bigger and the text is changed accordingly to fit your screen. Yeah, this is, of course, it makes you, or it facilitates you to read better, isn't it? And it displays better as well. Yeah. Okay. Why form elements? Maybe this is probably because copying from the previous one. A grid view. Many web pages are based on a grid view, which means that the page is divided into columns. So here is an example. Yeah, here is an example how a screen is divided into columns. How many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So altogether, there are 12 columns. If you say you want a box to fit 30%, it's a bit difficult, isn't it? If it 25%, that is 25%. Yeah, that is 25%. Suppose that this is your main area to consist of 75%. Perhaps this is where you put your menu. And this is where you put your contents. This is how it is divided. When you change that to a smaller screen, it will be resized accordingly. It's nice, isn't it? There you go. Using a grid view is very helpful when designing a web page. It makes it easier to place elements on the page. A responsive grid view often has 12 columns and a total of width of 100%. And it will shrink and expand as you resize the browser window. And that is also the case if you put that. This is, no, we don't have example. We don't have example just yet, but we'll show through the examples on later. Building a responsive grid view. Ensure all elements have the box sizing property set to border box. And this ensures the padding of the border are included in the total width and height of the elements. So we want 25 and 75%. Box sizing, border, box. Menu. This works on every element. Yeah, this works on every element. So throughout, because this is using the wildcard. Here, this is what I was saying earlier. This refers to class. This refers to class. This is yet another class. So when we have a menu class with the width of 25% and float to the left, that's why it is floating right here to the left. Now main 75% also float to the left, which means it will start after the first one floats to the left. Yeah? It's like you push everything to the left. So when you have 25 and 75, it becomes 100%. So it fills up the whole screen. That's just it. Okay, these are some of the examples. One column is 8.33, call 2. All right, these are the mostly these have been common throughout. If you are using the standard one, if you're using the standard CSS, such as W3 School or what's other popular CSS provider that you can think of. We have W3 School. What else? Another most popular one is called Bootstrap. Bootstrap CSS. Bootstrap is also popular. What else? Nowadays, most people are going towards what is it called? Tailwind CSS. Yeah, these are the most popular. Well, of course, this is the most popular, but this is getting popularity nowadays. Yeah. There you go. It's nice, isn't it? Hey, class? Class?
Yes, sir.
Ah.
Yes, sir.
So as much as I find this to be nice, but then again, I am not that creative in the artistic part. To me, everything looks nice. So notice you can design many different things with this. CW64, W56, sizing the color. Now these are the colors, typography, font serif, font mono, shadows, if you want to put the shadows. Whew. Playful. Elegant. Bootstrap is more popular because it has been around for quite a while. Yeah, Bootstrap has been more popular, and a lot of people can understand Bootstrap. Media query is used to determine the size of the screen. If the browser window is 600 pixel or smaller, the background color will be light blue. In this example, the breakpoint set at 600 pixel. I'll show you another example. Nowadays, for example, if you go into wix.com, let's try to sign in. Oh, it's not here. All right, example. We choose any one of these. Yeah, desktop or mobile. So what you see here is the view for your desktop. Okay, what you see here is the view for your desktop. This is the view for your desktop. If you want to have a look at how your page is, switch to mobile. Let's see how does it look on the mobile. That's how it will look on the mobile. Similarly, this is an example. Yeah, similarly, if you were to work on CMS, for example, I've installed Leave. Hey. Pages. Oh, pages. Let's have a look at home. Edit with Elementor. So that's how your page looks like on the computer. Yeah, if you access, you can basically drag and drop your elements into here. Nowadays, most people would work on something like this because it's a lot easier. And if you want to have a look at how your page looks like on for example, on a tablet, that's how it will look on the tablet. Now you want to have a look at how does it look on a mobile phone. There you go. That is the view for mobile device. Right. Take for example, you do not want this to look like this on a mobile device. Take for example, and you want to change the perhaps the picture here. Where, what do you do? Settings. See? What is it? Forgot. No. Hold on. I forgot. It's got to be here. User preference. No. It's got to be here. Settings. Oh, not here. Sorry, not here. Not here. That is something else. You have to edit somewhere else. Where is it? Where is it? I forgot. General, is it? Button layout. Where it comes. It's got to be in header, isn't it? Never mind. But this is how it is designed. So notice we have already different viewport, and you can work on the viewport, how your page will look like for each viewport. Nowadays, that's how people work. But for the purpose of learning, then you have to get to know about all of these first. All the breakpoint, what happened if it reaches certain breakpoints. Advisable to start with that, but nowadays it doesn't really matter. If you were to create something from scratch, then it's advisable to start from the small screen and then move along to the bigger screen. But if you have a tool like the one that I showed earlier, such as this, then it doesn't matter which way you want to start. It doesn't matter. Yeah, they will work just fine on any screen, provided that you know what you are doing. Yeah, font family. Of course, even in HTML there is font, but you can control this font using CSS as well, by using the font family property. P font family. For paragraph, you use Times New Roman, Times with serif. What is serif? Class? Class?
Yes, sir.
Serif tu apa?
Font.
Serif. What is serif?
Font.
Have you come across the term serif?
Font style.
Font style. So what does it mean? Okay. This is called sans serif. This is called serif. When you have a serif, it means you have that little thing. Yeah? This is called the serif. That thing. That thing. That thing. When you say sans serif, sans is non. Non meaning to say it doesn't have any decoration. The stroke decoration is not there. That is the serif. So what's the purpose of having a serif or not having a serif?
Decorate.
Basically, by having a serif, it supposedly helps you read better. Yeah, supposedly. And this has been covered when you studied csc253. When was that? When you were in which part? Was it part 1 or part 3?
Part 1.
Part 1. There you go. So, this is called the serif. If you say sans serif, it's like this. It doesn't have any stroke decoration. Okay. Times New Roman has the serif. Verdana doesn't have the serif. Bold, italic, normal is set to font weight. Font weight, bold. Otherwise, in normal HTML, we simply use B, isn't it? For bold. Or perhaps strong. But here, we use font weight. When it says here, p.thick, yeah? When we specify P, we have class equal thick. Now, anything that we put within this P will definitely use or carries a bold text. But if you did not specify class thick, yeah, if you cancel that class thick, in this case, everything will be italic. This is by default. For any P, it will be italic. If you specify the class to be thick, everything will be bold. Understand?
Yes, sir.
It is somewhat complicated in a way because we are designing a page. So basically, you have to have an idea how do you want your page to look like. So this get everything together in one place. So when you create later your page, it will follow exactly how you want it. Font size equal 14 px, meaning pixel. Calculation on 14px divided by 16 equivalent to 0.875 em. So they are the same. You can specify whether in pixel or em. Doesn't matter. So most people would go for pixel. Font sizes may be set to display accordingly depending on the screen size. So if in this case, minimum width is that, I have to take this call.